Yeah. Listen. How many finger guns you gonna aim at me? We all get to point you a shooter, that's the apogee. Your surgical remover of life, that's hysterectomy. AB, I don't see this as a test, don't start correcting me. Especially with your fallacies, most of us can only see through scopes of generalities. When niggas say it's up, all I can think about is gravity. It's gotta go down, so if it's death, I take my mic, I'm going underground. Sick with it, patiently waiting, I see you masked up. Do anything for money and clout, cause you gassed up. Now I could be wrong, and I ain't trying to prolong, but these images you project and keep us singing the sad songs. The love of money is the root of all evil, so every time you draw us for blood, like a needle, I just have to paint the picture, so I definitely need an easel, so you can see deceptions and the depth of all perceptions, misdirections, the tricks to keep you put behind bars, cause a lion won't be a king if he don't fight through the scars. Say that I can feel your pain like you poke voodoo dolls, and putting our hands on y'all will not further the cause. Pause. Systematic oppression in the dissection keeps us in the circle of circumspection for our protection, and because of our complexion, no power, no connection, they will question your honor while we stand in objection. How many finger guns you gonna aim at me? We all get to point you a shooter, that is the apogee. Your surgical remover of life, that's hysterectomy. AB, I don't see this as a test, don't start correcting me. How many finger guns you gonna aim at me? We all get to point you a shooter, that is the apogee. Your surgical remover of life, that's hysterectomy. AB, I don't see this as a test, don't start correcting me. If I was you, I see why you be mad at me. Inherited the pedigree, the school of practicality, focused on reality, illuminating tragedy. No time to be coy, you niggas murderers, revenge bringers, tears of joy. Fresh broad red strokes of infrared beams, symbolisms you learn while enforcing the catechism. You claim to love your people, but champions of division, creating your own isms, thus makes you a schism. No matter how you slice it, it's like you hit a lick but couldn't determine what the price is. Pointing finger guns because death is what suffices. Freely a shooter but yet a slave to these devices. I'm just speaking real. How many of us traumatized for you to rise? Guess you aiming for the Pulitzer Prize that's in the sky. Hope it's worth the sacrifice of your brothers and all the mothers that cry because you felt like your people were fit to die. How many finger guns you gonna aim at me? We all get to point you a shooter, that is the apogee. Your surgical remover of life, that's hysterectomy. AB, I don't see this as a test, don't start correcting me. How many finger guns you gonna aim at me? We all get to point you a shooter, that is the apogee. Your surgical remover of life, that's hysterectomy. AB, I don't see this as a test, don't start correcting me. Yeah.
Chicago faces an epidemic of gun violence. This year alone, more than 2,100 people have been shot, more than 400 killed.
The U.S. has recorded its highest increase in rates of homicide in modern history.
I know people who can't walk from their house to the store without a gun on them.
Why is that a reality? Why do people feel like they have to have a gun on them?
Because people getting killed left and right. It's sad.
I got shot twice now. I could have been gone, but I'm still here, so that's God. I know that's what it's so. It's hell on earth.
It's hell on earth?
Yeah, it's hell on earth.
Yeah. You already know what it is, man. That was Priest and Officer Lafayette, the Torch, with finger guns, man. That right there. Wow.
That shit was a banger.
Hey, man, I just don't think people listening, though. I don't think they listening to it, man. They ain't listening to it. They don't hear what's being said.
Very melodic.
That's crazy because that was my class topic today, too.
What's that?
Yeah.
Finger guns.
Oh,
finger guns.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Nah, real talk, man. So
talk about all the guns.
Back. Yeah, man. Welcome back, man. You know it is another episode of War as Usual. Today we are going live from Cross the Line Radio. All right, so big that up real quick. You know what I'm saying? Big up the Cross the Line Radio for giving us permission to utilize their platform. However, we will migrate over to the War as Usual YouTube channel. All right, so make sure that y'all subscribe to War as Usual. In about 40 minutes, we're going to segue all of this traffic towards the War as Usual page, and we're going to end the live on Cross the Line. So y'all definitely want to make sure that you go subscribe to War as Usual. You understand?
Facts. You got the link posted in the chat too?
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, okay. Make sure I hop on there.
Yeah, we're gonna be going into some deep topics as well, man. We have Commander General Yahanna, who's planning on being in here soon. He just hit me up. He said he's gonna be in shortly. So Commander General will be on his usual podcast, and give it up.
Yes, sir.
All right, he's gonna go into some topics about what's going on over in Israel, Palestine, or in Gaza, I should say. You understand? And we know it's deep. You know what I'm saying? We know in these times, man, it's getting real deep into the third world's war. You know what I'm saying? Which is biblical prophecy, is written all throughout the Bible. And so we got a few questions for him as well that we want to know. And if you got any questions, make sure you put them in the chat. Ask Commander General Yahanna any questions that you want to know about what's going on, man. Or you can hit that StreamYard link and hop in with us and ask your questions direct. You did? So we're gonna give y'all a chance to put y'all questions in the chat, or if you want to hit that link. Anybody want to say something? Go ahead. I'm gonna put the link in the chat. The YouTube link.
Damn right. Damn right.
Yeah, don't be afraid to jump in on that live stream. Don't be afraid to do it. Make sure we come in, be clear and concise about what you want to ask, and then after your question and we answer it and we go a little back and forth, then we'll drop you back off. You don't have to get off the live stream, but you'll just be in backstage. So just so everybody aware. And you have to show your face. You have to show your face.
Yeah, so that's the rule right there.
You got to show your face.
Yeah, quick rule, man. You gotta be, if you're gonna come onto the live stream, definitely have your camera set up, have your microphone set up. You know what I'm saying? We're not gonna wait for you to get your microphone together, your camera together. All right, you know what I'm saying? It's professional. Nah, but seriously though,
it's a war out here.
Yeah, you did. You gotta come with your armor on. All right. Also, so I just dropped the link to the YouTube channel. It's www.youtube.com/@war-as-usual, no spaces. All right. You can just go straight to YouTube and type in "war as usual," no spaces, and you'll find it that way as well.
Sir.
Hey, so Lapaya, you want to go straight into post of the week until we get into Commander Yahanna gets in?
You know what? I'm gonna be honest. I do. Now I don't have a graphic, but I want to talk about the post that you made. That's the post I want to talk about. So it kind of go into it because you can actually kind of say it. We ain't even really got to pull it up, but for the post you made, you definitely win post of the week, and I'm not being biased. On some real. So if you can enlighten all of our viewers about the post you made, and it's what's the word I'm looking for? It's allure. Let us know, what it was.
All right, man. Listen, man. Well, Most High Christ for the post of the week. Listen, man. So the post that I made, I'll go to it just to be right.
Yeah, and give us the update on the comments and the amount of comments and shares and all that, because it went crazy. It went crazy.
Yeah, that shit viral.
Yeah, low key. Listen, so the post itself.
Are you able to display it on the screen?
Let me see. I could do a screenshot. I don't think I could. I don't think I could pull it up at this moment. I ain't got that technology set up yet. But I can show the screenshot.
My fault to cut you off, but I see you got a different setup too, man. You know what I mean? Gotta love, for all the OG movies,
pull out
setup.
Yeah, man.
He left out the beach house. He left out the beach house.
Yeah. Yeah, you know what I'm saying? I had to get back home, you know what I'm saying? My timeshare. You know what I mean? It's all good. But not like, you know what I'm saying? We doing things, you know what I'm saying? We had to tone it down a little bit today. You know what I'm saying? Right. All right, so let me pull up the screenshot. But the post itself, man, 41 shares, 149 comments, 91 reactions. And then I went through everybody, like I ain't go through everybody who shared it, but I went through some of the people that shared it, you know what I'm saying? And they numbers is going crazy too. You know what I'm saying? So share the screenshot just so everybody can see what it says. And like I'm just trying to figure out what's the deal.
Oh, you know what the big deal is.
What I really like about it too. Oh, I'm my fault. I don't mean to cut.
No, go ahead.
No, I was just gonna say the mixed reaction that it got. Like you know how you can hit the reaction button on the Facebook or whatever, and some people's thumbs in that up. Some people's angry. Some people's laughing at it. So I like the whole mixed reaction that it got.
Yeah, it's definitely getting mixed reactions. So the post, as you can see, says being pregnant or on your cycle is no excuse to be a mean person. Now, I would expect, for more people to think, hey, he's right. You shouldn't look for an excuse to be mean or a bitchy person. You understand?
Right.
And you shouldn't have my bad, I'm getting some messages right now as we speak. So you shouldn't have that type of reaction when it comes to your niceness. Like how you treat people. I think a lot of women got confused, or you know what I'm saying? I'm assuming they got it mixed up thinking that I'm saying that you don't have a right to feel upset because of the condition you're in. You understand? I think, hold on one second. We got the man himself, the manager Yahanna. Alawat Panya.
Alawat Panya. Barack.
Yahawa Shabrakta.
Yabashim Shabrakatum. Warakim.
Hey.
Yes, sir.
How you warriors doing, man?
Hey, what's going on, sir?
Good to have you, General.
Oh man, I appreciate you having me.
Damn right, sir.
Praise, man. Big up, sir. I know you the busiest man ever, and getting you on the show was not an easy task.
Yeah, I know y'all brothers is busy, man. I'm super kind to you for having me on. You know what I'm saying? I'm glad to be here. You know what I mean? I jumped out of a council. I said, man, I got to go, man. I didn't put the brothers off 1 week. I got to go.
Most high crazy.
I'm gone.
Most high crazy.
It's great having you, sir. It's an honor.
Water.
Yeah, the water, General, for just even opening up the avenue. You know what I mean? When you was on the show, when you were saying like, you wanted to be on podcast, and you said that, you know what I'm saying, the antennas went up. So, we got this opportunity to have you in this space. So the water.
I think now's a good time, you know what I'm saying, for us to talk about all this stuff going on and how beautiful it is in terms of the prophecies of the Most High. So, yeah, man, I'm glad to be on with you. I'm glad to be talking about it. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Definitely. So we got a few, So we got a few questions lined up for you, sir. If you don't mind answering them.
Please.
I'll start y'all. You like to lead?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. If I may, General, I got a few questions. Like the brother was mentioning, the water for hopping on. And these are just general questions that I guess majority of people that's outside of the school would not understand, that want to get insight on. You know what I mean? And especially as a man, as yourself, being Commander General Yahanna, for somebody that's, living under a rock who might not know who you are, if you can kind of break down, in your upbringing, like what led you to believe that the Bible is real, that, what was your defining moment that confirmed it for you that these prophecies are true?
Well, okay. And growing up in the hood, you got a lot of religions always floating around. You know what I mean? You got the white boys, the Mormons, they got on the shirts. You got the Jehovah's Witnesses. They don't do it as much no more. They got mocked so much for it. But they be knocking on people's door in the morning. You got every kind of religion, man. You got Muslims at the time. Yeah, every kind of religion going on. And after a while, it just makes you think all these religions are just really hustles. And so I took that kind of posture, like, You know what I mean? I'm not getting into none of these religions because they all seem like a hustle. And I didn't grow up in a religious family. My mother and father were not religious. You know what I mean? So, so we didn't have that. My father wasn't that way. Even though they had religions that they was born in, they didn't really grow up like that. So they didn't put that on us. You know what I'm saying? We never went to church, anything like that. So it was easy for me to dismiss all them religions. So then a friend of mine came to me one day, we talking and stuff, and he started telling me a few things, about, the Bible and the society that we living in and the way they treat black. And it always resonated with me that, we was in a horrible position. You know what I'm saying? So one day he told me about these brothers in Harlem. And I went down there. I said, I got to see what these cats is about. I walked up in the school, and the brother that was in the chair said, before you say anything, I want you to think about every question you ever had about God. And I'm gonna answer every last one of them. Me being young and arrogant and not really taking him so serious, I said, no sweat, bet. And sure enough, I threw every question I could think of about God at him. And he laid them all out. Boom, 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 like we do on the street all the time.
Oh, God.
He laid them all out. I said, there's something here. Because I done confounded all kinds of people when it came to God. And I ain't even religious. But this cat known something. So I started coming back to them classes, brother. And I knew I found the truth. I knew that in this place right here, the truth lives. And that was it for me. I started studying. I absorbed everything that I could absorb at the time. You know what I mean?
Damn right, General. Damn right. And if I may too, sir, so from that moment right there to the moment that we in right now, this time that we in right now,
right?
Have you ever seen anything like this on this earth? From these prophecies coming about, from this war breaking out, these plagues, have you ever seen anything like this?
I've never seen anything lined up this well, ever. And I've seen a lot. But I've never seen these prophecies line up just like this before. Now, I don't know what their intentions are, but I've never seen them utilize this much technology. I've never seen them descend into the Middle East in this fashion. Now, they don't have a big fight right now. Right now, they in a position to pull back and stop this. But if they go a little bit further, they're not coming out of this. If they go a little further, then they done opened up the bottomless pit. If they go a little bit further, you know what I'm saying? So we'll see. We'll see how far they go. Because if they continue that war in Syria with Hezbollah and they starts to expand, then this is about the worst time I've ever seen them in. Just what happened in Ukraine was unprecedented.
Yes,
you know what I'm saying? The last time the Russians bombed the country outside themselves, had to be in the 60s. You know what I'm saying? They fought a Cold War with the United States for almost 30 years. So this was unprecedented that they went into Ukraine like that and bombed Ukraine. And so right now, with the advent of the internet and everything else, the whole world is tied together. The whole world is tied together. And the prophecies lining up. Ezekiel 38, you looking at it crystal clear. You know what I mean? When it comes to Iran being with Russia, when it comes to the Sudan or Ethiopia being with Russia, and those areas, all of it, which is Yemen as well, all of that is lined up perfectly lined up. You know what I mean? With what's going on in Syria, perfectly lined up. What's going on in China, perfectly lined up. Now, could they pull back and slow it down? Yeah, they could. Like the Lord said, no man knoweth the time. But brother, that's a good question. I have never seen it this bad before. Not lined up like this. We've seen many wars and skirmishes. But for those of us that study the scriptures, I've never seen it lined up like this before. Could it go further? Absolutely. I don't think it's ever going to stop. Whether they go all the way to the nukes or not, I think that what you see taking place now, is never going to stop. Now, they will be impressive if they can pull back on this here. China just sent 6 warships into the Middle East. Y'all heard about it, right?
Yes, sir.
Yes,
and the Israelis just bombed 2 airports in Syria. They just bombed them, and Hezbollah fired rockets into Israel. And they get ready to send them young Jewish boys who've been partying in concerts and having a good time. They get ready to send them into probably one of the worst war zones you could be sent into. A highly condensed urban warfare with highly oppressed and angry Arabs who've been fighting you for years. Their technology better be the absolute best if they're going up in there. And with added tunnels, rockets, machine guns, weapons, who knows what's going on down in there? You don't know what you're going to see when you get in there. So yeah, I've never seen it this bad. I don't think I've seen in the last 30 years, I don't think I've seen outside of a single terrorist attack, I don't think I've ever seen a armed group invade into the Israeli territory. I don't think I've ever seen that outside of, the 6-day war and, different individual terrorist attacks. So yeah, this is pretty bad. This is pretty bad.
Yeah, I don't want to cut in too much. I don't know if y'all brothers want to say anything, but I mean, that I was gonna say that's pretty heavy to hear. You say that because you've been holding down this banner for quite some time.
Yeah, man. I've been here about as long as Methuselah.
Now, which is, which is a great thing. You know what I mean? Because a brother like ourselves will not even get this truth if it wasn't for you. You know what I'm saying? So, I mean,
thanks to the brothers that was with me.
Damn right, General. Damn right, man. So all these things that's coming to pass, all these prophecies that, man have not seen before, and, we witnessing it right now. I mean, there's one book in particular that has plenty of prophecies of what's going on right now that most religions ignore. You know what I'm saying? And that's the book of Revelations. You know what I'm saying? And I know it's filled with allegories and metaphors, just like the book of Genesis, but people can read it and think it's literally talking about a snake or talking about a fruit that she ate from. But when they go to Revelations, you know what I'm saying, they'll add the same thing and make it literal. So if you could, General, if I could ask another question, you know what I'm saying? I know you're busy too. I ain't gonna,
That's all right. Let's get in there. Do this.
And so the metaphors in Revelation,
right,
and the allegories, in particular chapter 9, where it speaks about the scorpions stinging people. If you can give us like a descriptive visualization of what John was seeing in those visions. Like, what is that actually? Is that actual scorpions about to sting people? Are these actual seals? And these are horsemen? You know what I'm saying? Like the allegories, the different allegories in Revelation.
Right. Like what John was looking at in Revelation was the vision of the future. But remember, John was living in the time of Christ. So when John looked up to see this vision and he sees, jet planes, World War I planes with the gunner in the back and the gunners in the front and the front of the plane painted with teeth.
Right.
And 2 wings coming out. Right. This is the man that never saw a plane before. Let alone the military plane, let alone to hear and see it firing at the same time. Even in today's standard, if you saw a World War I plane flying over your head firing, you'd be pretty astounded. So you could imagine how astounded he was seeing it in the vision. So what he was looking at was a warplane. But in his mind, all he could do is describe it as the scorpion, because it had the tail like a scorpion with a stinger in the back, which was the guns, and the front of it had 2 wings like crab's legs. So it looked to him like a scorpion. And that was the best way he could describe what he was seeing. but he was looking at a warplane in that particular case.
Dang. Okay, Most High Christ. So he was looking at military planes and military weapons. Okay.
Like the Lord was showing him exactly what's going on right now. You know what I mean? And all he could describe, that's why in some places he'll say that they all carrying armor. Because to him, he's looking at a steel tank. It's moving. And to him, it's like, okay, this is somebody with armor on. Is the best way he could describe it. He doesn't know what an engine is. So he doesn't know this is a tank. But he's describing it in a way that he would understand it in that time.
Damn right. Which makes perfect sense, General. You know what I mean? Like that's crazy. Because, learning from the Christian church, everything, they teach us is based upon what our oppressor teaches. And, our oppressor is not spiritual at all. He'll make everything literal. So when we read stuff like that, we think it's actual scorpions about to come through in the last days and sting us with their stings and all that. It's nonsense, man. That's crazy.
Right.
That makes sense, though.
And it's a way for Christians to avoid the fact that this is talking about war. This ain't just talking about spooky plagues. This is talking about actual war with people and weapons and killing and destroying. Like they don't want to look at that part. They rather it be some, mysterious, funny creature that they don't have to clearly describe. And they don't have to relate it to the world they're in so that they don't have to stop the sinning that they're doing. The whole point of John getting this vision is to show us the future so we'd stop sinning. So we prepare for the Lord returning to us. You see what I'm saying?
Yeah, right.
If I may,
go ahead.
When I think about the times we in, it kind of it gives me like a flashback to Noah. You know what I'm saying? Noah in the ark, and it's like I know people. It probably might be cliche, you know what I'm saying? But like there was never a more clear sign showing you that this is the exact same repeat. You get what I'm saying? Like the Most High is warning his people to get on the boat, so to speak. You know what I'm saying? Get on the ark before it's too late. You know what I'm saying? You yourself, Commander Yahanna, and all the men that you raised up, you know what I'm saying? We yell it at the hilltops, you know what I'm saying, to wake up and get, get on the ship. And, it's just like those times, like people didn't want to hear it. They wanted to continue on having a good time. They wanted to continue on, doing whatever lust, like fulfilling whatever lust or, desire that they had. And before you knew it, man, like the earth was flooded. And went dark.
But here's a beautiful part. The fact that it was prophesied so early by us and by you all, that in the near future, as these things unfold, our brothers and sisters are going to realize where they heard it from before. You know what I'm saying? Like the truth is like a plant. It's got to grow. And so as you out there teaching and putting them seeds out there, they hearing it even though they're ignoring it in many cases. But after a while is when they start to come on in. Like as time get tougher, time get more serious. Like Christ came right before the Romans was about to destroy Jerusalem. And they didn't hear nothing Christ said. They went against them to where they all left at one point except for the 12. He turned to them and said, will you leave also? So he had done all the miracles and taught them, and they still walked away. But believe you me, when you read later on, when the Romans start coming down on them, oh, everybody heard Peter then. Everybody heard Peter then. Peter became the biggest figure in Jerusalem. At the time, he was a nobody standing next to Christ, and they was mocking him and disrespecting Christ and challenging Christ in the scriptures and all that. By the time Christ left and Peter got risen up and the miracles the Lord did, and the day of Pentecost, the scriptures said it was an innumerable multitude that came out and came together with the brothers. And they took it all over, man, and carried that thing right on into Europe. So it was, so that's how it is. It's the same way now. Brothers and sisters hearing what we saying, all of them hearing it. The Christians, all of them, they ignoring it now. They into their lust and they desires. But as the time gets closer, you're gonna start to see them coming out of it because they're gonna realize they gotta turn from this dark side. You know what I mean? Like everything everybody's chasing on the hamster wheel is all a lie. All of it's a lie. And eventually they're gonna realize the hamster wheel's been a lie. We better get off the hamster wheel. It's gonna come a time where blacks, Latino, and Native Indians gonna have to realize that they are a nation in exile. Like the scripture said, "Oh nation not desire." We don't realize everybody hates us yet. We should realize it, but we don't. And when we do realize it, like any family that's hated, the family gonna come together. And that's when you're gonna see hordes of people coming into the truth. And it's gonna be glorious. It's gonna be glorious. You already seen the Lord. Listen, the churches is struggling to get back on their feet. They are absolutely struggling to get back on their feet since that pandemic. The pandemic was once again another tragic incident that brought them closer to understanding that you cannot, okay, come up against the Most High. Okay? Can I put y'all on hold for just a second?
Go, sir.
Come on. While we at it, make sure y'all go into War as Usual on YouTube. You understand? Hit the subscribe button, hit the bell. You understand? We will be migrating over to that channel shortly. So you want to be there because we're going to end the stream on Cross the Line as well as for Myers. All right, so definitely hit that channel on YouTube to make sure that you catch us when we switch over. All right, and get those likes up, Baba Kusha, please. You know what I'm saying? Like, share, and subscribe.
Some powerful info coming out, man.
Yes.
I don't want to miss
yes.
that.
Yes. I remember when I was little, being in the church, man. When you finally start
please go continue, please.
Oh, Salakia, sir. No, I was just saying I remember being in the Christian church as a child, and I remember when you first start, not necessarily when you first start getting into the Bible, but my mother started me off with Proverbs and Psalms. And that's basically all we would talk about, in Christendom. You'd hit Psalms and Proverbs, you know what I mean? Of course, you're gonna hit the Gospels, but they stayed away from primarily most of the Old Testament. And then they couldn't break down Revelation. So when I read it as a child, it was scary. You're reading about scorpions and dragons, and it's already a child's mind and all of the stuff we see. And so, it's kind of like they kept that lie going continually until we got older and nobody ever explained it. So every time we go to ask the preacher, like, what does this mean? They just like, yeah, only the Lord know. You know what I'm saying? He works in mysterious ways. Like, no, you're gonna tell me about this dragon that's supposed to be coming out of this water. Like, why can't we do something about this? So like it.
Right. And the flaw, the whole problem with the Christian church, that's a good point. The whole problem, and tomorrow in class, now that you said that, tomorrow in class, I'm gonna go through one of the chapters in Revelations. I'll go through it and talk about the specifics of how it relates to us today, right now. I think I did it in one of the other classes, but I think I'm gonna do it again tomorrow night on the online classes. We'll see how the day goes. But my point is this, that the problem with the Christian church is you're trying to teach an oppressed people to be joyful in their oppression, which is very, very difficult for somebody to do. You have to lie and say you're not oppressed and totally give up your stance as a person and your culture and your nature and your identity, and you have to become somebody else that was not oppressed so that you can now live and function with the people that oppressed you. And so when you read in Revelation and all this fire and brimstone, it seems like it's a horrible, horrible thing when you're supposed to be able to read it and know that this is all happening because the Lord is going to wipe this world out to set up Christ's kingdom, and that you are going to be the one getting the benefit of the kingdom. But of course, our preachers didn't teach us that, because of course they are not allowed to teach you to be motivated by your oppressor's destruction. That's only reserved for them. That's why they don't have too many black superheroes, because you can't have a black superhero that's fighting against the very real oppressor you're suffering under and be victorious over him. That's why they couldn't stand not Mario Van Peebles. What's the father's name? Mario Van Peebles' father. I forget his father. Melvin Van Peebles.
Yeah.
Like Melvin Van Peebles made a bunch of what they call black exploitation movies. But those movies were about black men fighting the oppressors, the drug dealers that were Edomites, the secret societies, the corrupt cops. And they were not, expertly made movies, but they were movies about that, which motivated us to come up against the people that were oppressing us. And of course, they hated it. They hated him. They blacklisted him from Hollywood to a degree. He still broke through, but he couldn't really break through that much. And the reason for that is because they don't want black men to feel that they could get a victory over the people that enslaved them. They want us to be firmly implanted with the idea that our path out of slavery is humility and be abused. And someday our slave master is going to realize just how evil he is. And now he's going to bring us into the joy. And brother, that's what Martin Luther King bought hook, line, and sinker. He bought that. He got that from India, from Mahatma Gandhi, and he got caught up into that. And that's what he shoveled down to us. And we believed it. And now we got seats in Congress. We got entertainers on television. And so in our ignorant mind, we believe that means we've been accepted into society, when that is not the case at all. And it don't matter, because the Lord don't like it. We thought we was accepted in Egyptian society. We was all in Egyptian society. And the Lord still, he didn't care how much we loved being in Egypt. He knew that it was captivity, and he had the love enough for us to get us the hell out. Same thing will happen in this empire and all the empires around the world.
What kind of, sir? If I may, I had a question I wanted to ask. With everything we're talking about with the war, right? As a brother or a sister that's outside of the school right now, how should they posture themselves with everything that's going on? Like, what should they be doing right now?
If you outside the school, the first thing you need to do is get inside the school. Like, that's the first thing. Like, learn this truth so you can know exactly what's going on and know where you fit in the grand scheme of things going forward. Being in the school is everything. That's number one. And then from being in the school, you become part of the network of everything that we do. You become important to the rest of the body. And then you do the usual, you want to prep or, do the usual survival things. You understand? You want to stop living a fake, joyful life and start living a disciplined, vigilant life. You want to shake off the carnal and put on the spiritual. And when you put on that spiritual, you'll do things like, you might do things like prep better. And if you got license for weapons and all that, but none of that will deliver you if you're not in the truth. If you're not obeying the law, statutes, and commandments, if you are not obeying the things the Lord said to obey, then you are so wide open for anything to happen. So yeah, you come into the work, and that's even a part of it. Like, if you want to get delivered out of this hell, you got to become part of the work of it itself, of getting us out of here. You got to come in here and help your brothers and sisters. You got to start to make a commitment to the next kingdom and start pulling your soul out of this kingdom. Like, we vested in this kingdom when we in the world. We vested in our future and vested in, being a part of it, and vested in, we on picket lines and arguing in the corridors of politics and You know what I'm saying? Having strikes for auto workers. We involved in all that when we ain't looking at the fact that this kingdom gonna be wiped out. And we ain't putting no investment in the future kingdom, which Christ is coming for. Which means you come in the truth and you now help the brothers and sisters who are waking up brothers and sisters all over the country. That's what you do now. That's how you build up, you understand, the kingdom of heaven. That's what you do in this time. But being outside the school is not going to help you very much at all.
If I may, I don't mean to cut you off, Lapierre. I just want to add on to the question that he asked. Is there a such thing as it being too late? Is there ever such thing as it being too late for brothers and sisters who's not in the school?
It's never too late.
Oh, God.
Because the Lord said this, at the last trump, you know what I mean? We be caught up with the Most High in the air. It ain't never gonna be. There's gonna be people that's gonna not come into the truth, but gonna be seeking the Lord their whole life, but think that we don't have it. And in that last minute, when them ships break this atmosphere, that'll be the time when they turn to us and say, "Dang, you brothers was right." And that'll be the time when the Lord forgive them, and they going up in them ships, even though they hadn't come in all this time. But the whole time they were trying to seek the Most High. They didn't fight against the work of the Lord, but they were seeking to come into the work of the Lord. But Satan just either blocked them or kept them blocked, or drugs or some other reason they couldn't get in here. But the Most High saw their heart and saw what they was made of. I ain't talking about fake Israelites or nothing like that. Those are brothers that are consciously refusing to join the body of Christ, even though they know better. And that's not what I'm talking about. I'm talking about brothers and sisters that may be totally ignorant. And it ain't going to be a lot of them, but the ones that are sincerely ignorant to this truth, the Lord is going to deliver them at the last minute if their heart is right. Because at that moment, they'll wake up.
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. If I could, it's like the two cats that was on the cross with Christ, right?
Exactly. It's exactly like that.
Okay.
That brother they was at the end of their life. And right there, Christ said, "Don't worry, you're going to be in the kingdom with me." You know what I'm saying? And he made it out of here. Okay. He's back on the earth again now, but I can almost guarantee you he's in the truth.
Sir.
He believed in Christ then. Christ brought him back in the truth.
Damn right, man. Yeah.
Lord
allow, you know what I'm saying? Because a lot of things is coming to pass, and who knows, right? Right.
For sure.
You said, like you said, General, like this can escalate to a level that we have never seen before. And we see it right now here in America. We see everything that's going on outside of this country. Let's say this spilled over to the U.S. soil, right? Like, what should those that's in the truth, what should they do in protecting themselves, making sure they safe? You know what I mean? If this were to ever spill over to American soil,
you want to make sure you're safe. You contact your camp leader. The minute you hear the news, the minute that phone goes, nah, 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 that old alert they're doing.
God.
The minute that alert goes, nah, 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 bomb shelters, whatever. As soon as that alert finish, yo, did you get the alert? What's up? And he's gonna say, yeah, I just heard from General Yahanna. Everybody do A, B, C, and D. You know what I'm saying? Right. As simple as that.
No lock it, sir. Now, it's heavy that you mentioned that, right? Because listen, they might not get the alarm because I don't know if you know, but like a week or two ago, everybody turned their phones off because they were doing some type of alarm check on your phone. And so they get it went viral on social media. Oh, everybody turn off your phones at 2 p.m. They're gonna do a test. And I don't know, some crazy conspiracies like you're gonna turn into a zombie if you don't turn off your phone. It's something crazy. And like it just goes to show you like the type of madness we'll believe when we don't have somebody to follow. You know what I'm saying?
Listen, you right about that. You know what I mean? So I mean they might have been running a test, but I can guarantee you, brother, these phones, These phones right here have become the new slave master. These phones now, brother. Man, they got so much stuff they can do with these phones. They got stuff that is just absolutely incredible that they can do to your phone, which you never even known about. So, you know, believe me, they got everybody's phone. I told you, I was at a protest in the middle of North Carolina, and I'm standing there, and the reporters are questioning me, and a crowd gathers around the brothers. And we standing there talking, and it's, we in the middle of them, they rioting and busting windows and all that. But we sitting up there, being interviewed by the press. Brother, I got a call from the police chief right then. What's going on? Y'all all right down there? Why is there such a gathering over there? And I had to explain that I don't even know who this cop is. I'm not even from North Carolina. But somehow this cop was able to call my phone directly. And, somehow punching everybody's phone down there. Next thing you know, everybody's phone is ringing. So they got all kind of good technology for that. You know what I'm saying? Like they when they get ready to alert everybody, they believe me, they ain't gonna have no problem with it. You know what I'm saying? The problem is once they alert everybody, what's in the minds of the people? You know what I mean? Because people are gonna lose their mind. People are gonna be running out in the street doing all types of madness. But what are we gonna do? We're gonna come together, follow orders, gather up all of our people. We're going to do exactly what we needed to do. This is what happened when Christ left. Christ told Peter and them what to do. And Peter and them did it and was waking up brothers and sisters and bringing them together while madness was breaking out in Israel. The zealots, the zealots started breaking out. They were killing, not shooting, but killing, stabbing, assassinating each other. They were doing all kinds of stuff. Israel had fallen apart because of the pressure from the Roman Empire. Okay, that's why John had to say all that he had to say to the centurions about, exact the right measure. In other words, you law enforcement officers that's among us, don't be criminals also. Because that's what they were seeing. You're going to see it as well, too. You're going to see cops and anybody with power and authority, you're going to see them descend into real animals with that power. Real animals with that power. But we got things in place. We don't mention everything, but we care about these 12 tribes. We doing things to make sure that these 12 tribes are beloved and taken care of, because this is Christ's treasure. Right. Every one of these brothers and sisters and every child that's among us is the Lord's treasure. And we're gonna make sure that the Lord's treasure is kept good and safe while the madness starts to descend. We're gonna tell people go to the left, and they're gonna say, hell no, that's ridiculous. We going right. And they're gonna go right and end up dead, and we're gonna go left and end up alive. It's gonna be like that. You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, like they didn't take Christ seriously when he said this place was gonna be destroyed. Even the disciples, he had to shock them. Like one of the disciples, remember when the one disciple came to Christ and said, look at the new temple.
Yes, sir.
Like he was, to him, it was like prosperity. He was young. So to him, it was like, look at the new temple, man. It's beautiful. Just like they do when they build a mall in your neighborhood or something. Or they build a new high-rise complex. Black people act like, oh, look, it's great. Until you find out the rent's $2,000. You know what I mean? Then it ain't so sweet. You know what I'm saying? Until you find out that it's a strip mall, but every business in there is owned by a heathen and is robbing you blind. You understand what I'm saying? Then it's, then the reality coming. So that brother thought the same way too when he saw that new temple. They probably spent tons of money on that new temple. That's what they had the Wailing Wall at right now. But Christ said it shall not be one. That was a check and he gave that brother. He said, man, there ain't going to be one stone left upon another. In other words, don't be looking at that temple like it's something great. This whole place going to be burned to the ground. That's what I'm trying to prepare you for. Trying to get your head right in. And certainly, and sure enough, that's exactly what happened. You know what I'm saying?
Come on. If I may, real quick. You know what I'm saying? We're about to migrate over to the other channel. I want to give everybody an opportunity to go and migrate over to that channel. We about to end the live stream for Cross the Line, so it will be live on War as Usual. We gonna I think we got just a few more questions for you, Yahanna, if you got the time.
Please go ahead.
All right, and you know, I know some brothers and sisters that got questions in the chat. Not too many, so you know you won't be here too long, sir.
Hey, ain't no sweat, dog. That's why I came. I said I was gonna give you some time. I was gonna come hang with you, man.
Most High Christ,
Yeah.
I'm saying the rest of you brothers, you know what I'm saying?
Florida
Working so
water.
hard down there in Florida.
Yes, sir.
Appreciate you, sir. So the link is in the comments and we call it the barracks, sir. It's in the
God.
barracks. You understand? So go ahead and click that link. All right. It's at War as Usual, no spaces on YouTube. Click that link. We're about to end the Cross the Line live stream. All right. So you got about 10 seconds. Now I'm gonna give you 20. Got about 20 seconds to go over to the other stream. All right, because this is about to end. We got a few more questions for Commander General Yahanna. You know what I'm saying? Also, we got some of y'all's questions that he's willing to answer. So, you know, if you want your question answered, you got to go over to War as Usual on YouTube. All right, do that swiftly, please. Babu Kushad. All right, so I'm gonna put the @ right here. So it's on your screen. Go to War as Usual on YouTube. No spaces. I see everybody. See, they love that Cross the Line. They love Cross the Line, sir.
Yeah.
It's a great show. You know what I'm saying? Big up to Captain Tazariak and Captain Katazar.
Yeah.
Yeah, they definitely do. I know they you know, and brought a lot of brothers up in here. You know what I'm saying? With that Sarnetta.
Come
Mm-hmm.
on. Big shout out to Zarya. Big shout out to Captain Cousins. I was on this show last week. Yeah, they throw it down, man, and have been throwing it down for a long time, man. They've been doing it.
Mm-hmm.
Shit, if I could, I'm good to go to offside to Zab. And ask,
yeah, go ahead.
So
you got it.
Okay, if I may, General, too, to get pinpoint back to the you know, the conflict between Israel and Palestine.
Yeah.
You know, while this going on, you know, best believe Ukraine and Russia is still going at it. You know what I mean?
Yes, they are.
Yes, sir. You know what I mean?
He ain't asking for $60 billion for nothing.
Oh man, 60 billion.
He's asking for $60 billion from Congress to prosecute that war in Ukraine, which means the Russians is bombing the hell out of it.
Khan. And I still remember a while back at a Passover, you mentioned that this was gonna happen too. You dig what I'm saying? Like you said, the prophecies was gonna align to where Ukraine and Russia is gonna go at it. You know what I mean? And now we seeing with Russia, Israel, and Palestine. So, what's the correlation between the two? Like, do these things have anything to do with each other, or these are just separate, isolated incidents?
They have everything to do with each other. Also, too, if you haven't heard, Putin collapsed in some office. They think he had a heart attack.
Oh man.
Yeah. So, you know, man. So we're gonna see how that plays into it. You know, man. Was it an assassination attempt? What happened? You know what I'm saying?
Yes, sir.
Like, you know, they playing for big stakes. So we'll see. You know what I'm saying? And yes, they fall completely in line with the biblical prophecies in this. In Ezekiel 38th chapter, it speaks about, and something else too, man. Something else that happened with Turkey recently. Turkey armed either Hezbollah, I believe it was Hezbollah. Turkey sent weapons to Hezbollah. I'm not certain on that, but they made some act towards helping Hezbollah, which is so part of the biblical prophecy in this. The biblical prophecy says that all of this would start by Russia turning around in Ezekiel 38. And meaning Russia would stop trying to work with Europe and work with the West and turn against the West. And that's exactly what happened. when they sent in agents to overthrow the government in Ukraine. The government in Ukraine used to be friendly to the Russians. But in 2014, they flipped the government. They ran the president out of Ukraine. And when they ran him out of Ukraine, that's when they installed this guy Zelensky. So they put in their own president. You understand? Many believe it was the CIA that did it. Who knows? The point is, they took Ukraine from what was a Russian-friendly country to a America-friendly country, right on the borders of Russia. So you know they wasn't having that. And that's when he went down there and took Crimea. The biblical prophecies say that would be the beginning. And it happened. And before you know it, war broke out in Ukraine. Perfect biblical prophecy. Now, when it talks about it, it also talks about several specific countries that would be with Russia. One of them is Turkey. The other one is Iran, the Persians. Another one are the Ethiopians, which live in Ethiopia and Yemen. And it said that they would be with him. And they mentioned other ones like the Sudan in other terms and other names. Okay, look for France to turn against the West. I know it sounds crazy, but look for France to turn against the West according to the biblical prophecy. And they went on high alert in France because some British woman got raped at the Eiffel Tower. Which shows you where their country is at. The Eiffel Tower is the #1 tourist attraction in France. And some woman got raped at the Eiffel Tower, some white woman from Great Britain, and she was a cop. She was a British on vacation in France and got raped. That's how the state that France is at. And they got a ton of Arabs up there who are protesting like crazy over this situation. So don't be surprised if France says it's in their best interest to break from the ways of the West and to join the other side. It could happen. Right now, France is catching it because Putin did something else. He got with the African countries, told them he got their back, and they start cutting Europe off. So they're weakening Europe right now. And Putin is smart. He ain't no dummy. He been around as long as Biden been around. Both of them is bad. Like Biden ain't no joke. He might be old and decrepit, but that team that's with him, been with him, some of them for 30, 40, 50 years, all through the Cold War while he was battling Putin. Like both of them cats are old school warriors, and the Lord got both of them working hand in hand to help bring this war on at this time. So now, according to the prophecy, they would use their forces to push back against the West. And that's exactly what they're doing. They're pushing back against the West. They made an alliance with China. China, Iran, and Russia all aligned themselves. They aligned themselves with Syria. That's also in the prophecy that Russia would get help from Damascus. That's also in there in 36 and 38. All of those are prophecies. So every single one of these steps are lining up. Look for Saudi Arabia to align itself. Remember, they tried to have that alliance with Israel. Right? Okay. If they push forward with it, look for them to get invaded. Believe it or not. You're going to see invasions in countries you never thought these invasions would happen. But yeah, all those prophecies, man, are perfectly lined up right now. I've never seen it lined up like this before. It's perfectly lined up. Whether this is it, I don't know. But I know this much. They're lined up really, really well. And this could go where it needs to go. If it don't do it now, it's still leading up to it. It's been leading up to it for years. Even back in 2014, 2015, it was leading up to it. Even before that, when the United States tried to go into Syria, and then the Iranians joined the Syrians and ran the U.S. out. That was a part of the prophecy where they got pushed back to their side. And so this has been going on for a while. So who knows how long or short it'll be before it takes it to the next level. But yeah, all of them are lined up perfectly. So look for Turkey to get more involved on the side of Lebanon. Look for uh, Saudi Arabia to possibly get invaded, and look for France to take a different stance and turn themselves around. Now, right now, France went over to Israel. I mean, yeah, the French president went to Israel to talk about everything that's going on. But it's still early in the game. And right now, it's a whole lot of Palestinian bodies being thrown on CNN and Fox News and every other news channel. And things could real easily start to change. But that's where we at. So yes, to answer your question in a whole, yeah, all of those prophecies are coming together, and those countries are falling in line.
Oh God.
And listen, look for the other Arab countries. Look, you know what you gotta look for too? Look for the people in these other Arab countries to stop listening to their leaders. Jordan, Qatar, all those countries, you're gonna start to see them Arabs come out of those countries, Afghanistan, and they're gonna go on their own. They're gonna go join the fight on their own. And you're gonna have a mess on your hands. And yes, it'll spill into every country in the world, including the US. That what everybody doesn't, what people don't realize is that these wars are now gonna be worldwide wars, meaning they're not necessarily gonna be fought conventionally in one theater. They're gonna be fighting in all theaters over the same issue. You see what happened to the synagogue leader, the female synagogue leader got killed. Somebody killed her, and the Palestinian boy that got killed by the Jewish landlord, stabbed 28 times. Like, you're gonna see more of those type of incidents. You're gonna be battling each other in the streets, and you're gonna really see the animal in this so-called Jew. He's gonna come out of Brooklyn and different areas, and he's gonna be a vicious animal against the Arabs and against us as black people as well. Everybody gonna hate us just on GP.
Yeah. God.
If I could real quick,
please.
This news just broke earlier today about China and their hypersonic missile. So it said China's all right. So the headline says China makes hypersonic missile breakthrough as U.S. lags behind. It says Chinese scientists have tested a new technology that could put the People's Liberation Army's PLA hypersonic missile technology well ahead of the U.S. Army's current technology.
That's a rough one. That's why they are fighting over Taiwan. The whole beef over Taiwan is that Taiwan can make the fastest computer chips in the world. And here's the thing, nobody can make them like they do. People have tried, they've tried in different parts of the world. They're trying right now in Arizona. Right now in Arizona, because it's desert and dry, they're trying to duplicate the Taiwanese chips. Because the Taiwanese chips, without the Taiwanese chips, I don't care what rockets or jets you have, it'll never be as fast as somebody that has their chips. So both China and America are like, yo, whoever gets these chips rules the world. Because if one of them gets hold of Taiwan, then they could cut Taiwan off from selling the chips to somebody else. So let's say China get hold of Taiwan. That means America will not have chips for the future, or vice versa. Right now, Taiwan's selling the chips to both of them. But both of them is like, we gonna take this cut. Well, China's like, we about to take this because it's part of ours. And America's like, hell no, because you take that, it's World War III. So both of them is jockeying for position, but they going into this war because the Lord calling them in. But yeah, them chips are the fastest chips in the world, so I ain't surprised. They done created a missile that's so fast that nothing probably could shoot it down. or very little to shoot it down. When you talking about hypersonic, talking about super fast. Go ahead.
No, my bad, not to cut you off, sir. But I was just thinking, that just made me think. You know what I'm saying? That means that if they do stand against Israel, you know, they're that whole Iron Dome, you know what I'm saying, chance.
Listen, they done proved the Iron Dome was a hustle. Whoever sold them the Iron Dome, man, beat them for their cash. They got beat for the billions on that one. Because them old cheesy little rockets them Arabs were shooting from Gaza landed all inside their country.
Yep.
They better hope them Arabs ain't got nothing faster than what they already sent in. Because them rockets was hitting all in there, blowing up buildings and stuff. So, you know what I mean? So I don't know about that Iron Dome.
Kind of, if I could.
So,
based on like the prophecies, at the end of all of this, am I hearing you right? Is it basically going to be everybody's missiles at some point pointed towards America? Is it going to be one of those things where it's everybody against us, or is it just going to be factional where this war is happening over here, this war is happening over here, and then it's just a combination of everything? Or does America become like the biggest villain?
Well, no. What it is basically the East versus the West. It's really it's going to be a war between two different halves of the world. The Western half and the Eastern half. Eastern half is China, Russia, Iran, and all of them. That's why in Ezekiel 38 it says Gog and Magog and all their fellows, meaning all the ones that's with them. And then you're going to have the United States, Great Britain, the rest of Europe, and everybody that's with them. And so and that's to make sure that's because the Lord wants to make sure that everything in the country, everything in the world gets drawn into the war. So the littlest country got to choose a side. If you a little tiny little Caribbean island, you're going to have to choose a side. You're going to either be on the side of the Russians and them and China, or you're going to be on the side of America and Great Britain. And they already on the sides, pretty much they are, with a very few that are still in the middle. And so they're going to be on both sides. And what's going to happen is, as this escalates into a nuclear war, they're going to be firing nuclear weapons on each other. And that's when Christ is coming in with all the angels. And then they're going to turn on him. They're going to say, yo, we got to stop him. He's the bigger enemy. We don't stop him. We just stop shooting at each other. Let's shoot at him. Because if we don't stop him, all of us going to be enslaved. And that's when they're going to try to turn against Christ and try to battle him. But that's going to be futile. Because Mike and the angels is going to make quick work with them. That's what General Mayak was bringing out on Monday night show. That was a hell of a scripture he pulled out in 2nd Ezra, where he talked about, and anybody can go see that. You go on the Commander General Yahanna channel. Like he pulled out that scripture that showed that in 1 hour, this place gonna get wiped the hell out. In 1 hour, the whole world gonna be a different place. You know what I mean? Because they're gonna turn on Christ to fight him, and it's on. Bombs away, destruction, everything. The angels gonna tear shop up while we getting lifted up out of here.
Oh God! If I may, I don't know if my brothers want to add anything, but I do want to mention how a while back when the U.S. Congress brought out the classified information about quote unquote UFOs and stuff like that. You know what I mean? Like, and now we, get into this war, right? Like, what does that has to do with what's going on as well, in this present time right now?
I mean, they really, really need you to believe. They want to bring the people into the 20th century or the 21st century. They've been hiding their top technology so long that if they bring it out, you're gonna think it's aliens living in, flying around in America. That's how top their technology is. You know what I mean? If you could think about, this is what you should think about. We in 2023, right? Think, what is 75 years ago? What year would 75 years be?
Damn, my math not too good, so it's like
it would be 1950.
It would be close to 1950. Yep.
1950.
It'd be 1952, if I'm not mistaken, right? Or let me see, 23, strike that. 1949.
About that 48, 49.
Yeah, about 48, right? So in 1948, the technology that they have now, that you're looking at right now, stealth bombers, stealth fighters, and all that, they had these things already being built up in 1948. So since 1948, they had everything that you see flying around right now. They had stealth technology. They had, hypersonic weapons. They had all that. So now you in 2023, what you think they got now? They got all kinds of stuff. They got stuff to make the ignorant think that they're God. That's why Christ said, if he didn't cut the time short, it'd be no flesh left to save. And then he said, if he could, he would fool the very elect. Like we, the elect, we would be fooled into thinking, this man's technology and ability is the best ever seen. So, you know what I'm saying? Who knows what he could do that would shock us? If in 1948 somebody came in your house and you had a flat screen TV on the wall and you pulled out a remote control and changed the channel, they would think you had the ability to do magic.
Oh God.
Because in 1948 was a big tube TV and was no such thing as remote control. But now you got a flat screen TV with a remote control. So imagine what you would see now. You would think, if you're ignorant, you think this is magic. What they do, just that they've advanced the technology. So with that being said, they need to now, because they go into war, they need to bring the people up to speed. They need to get everybody up to speed to what they had because they've been hiding it so long. So they trying to walk everybody to it. It's aliens, maybe it ain't aliens, maybe it's something we had, blah, 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 blah. Because really, when the war breaks out, all they dirt in all their countries gonna come out. All of everything they doing gonna be known after a while. All of our history being hidden down there in Saudi Arabia and in the Vatican and different places like that, we getting all that information revealed as they go into this war. So that's why they're going through what they're doing. They're going through this, trying to get everybody's head together so they can come out and try to say, yeah, we have this technology. And there's no such thing as aliens. That's been just BS. That's the BS walk to get you there. That's what it is. This technology been around, since the 40s. Adolf Hitler was experimenting with anti-gravity in 1938.
Yep.
Those flying saucers like in Roswell and all that, those were German planes. There was no such thing as a fixed wing airplane in 1948. But Adolf Hitler and them Nazis were building, not only were they building fixed wing airplanes, they was building fixed wing jets. Remember, they the ones that came up with the jet engine. Nobody had a jet engine before them. So they were flying planes into the United States, fixed wing planes with dual jet engines on. So when they came into this atmosphere and people saw them, they were like, those are flying saucers. They ain't see no propellers on them. They moving mad fast. The wings ain't moving like a plane's wings do with the ailerons and all that, moving back and forth. They thinking it's aliens, when it's really just the Germans with advanced technology. And the same what we'll see now. Ain't no aliens coming nowhere. This is about Christ, the angels, and the earth. Paul made it clear. He said there are bodies terrestrial, which is on the earth, and there are bodies celestial, which are the bodies that come from the Lord, the angels, and so forth. That's it. Ain't nobody saying nothing about no aliens in the middle. If an alien come along, it's something Esau done made in a laboratory somewhere. That's all. If a little green head come walking up saying,
right,
oh, he from Beta Reticuli, you know that he lying his ass off. He from Bell Labs some damn way. Yeah, man.
Yeah, because they came out and I follow the whole UFO alien theory, whatever.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? Because it's something that always interested me, and then seeing it in the Bible, it really stuck out to me. So I follow that theory or whatever very closely, and when that guy came out and said that they have organic matter from so-called aliens, you know what I'm saying? I knew it was bull crap, you know what I'm saying? Especially knowing the Bible, like, they ain't got no bodies, you know what I mean? But then, even in that like community or whatever of those UFO researchers, they say that there's no way he got bodies. You know what I'm saying? Even Esau himself knows that was a bunch of bull.
Yeah, because when they were crashing them German planes, the people that was in them German planes were people that the Nazis had done all kind of experiments to. The Nazis were experimenting with twins and cloning. I mean, they was doing this in the 30s. They were experimenting with making people small. They would take people and somehow breed them down to make them like smaller than midgets, but normal, so they could be lightweight when they flying in planes. I mean, they was doing all kind of mad scientist mess. You understand? This is something that been going on. So no, they ain't got no aliens, man, but they got a ton of technology to make you believe they're alien. Something else they putting up, a ton of them holograms. They got them holograms. They putting them holograms in concerts and all that now. So them holograms are in them concerts, and eventually they'll be up in the sky as well. They use holograms in the Iraq war. They use holograms. So yeah, they got a ton of stuff like that. And listen, that's why they got to be wiped out, because left to their own devices, they be using those kinds of things on the population, and if they're not already, and killing and destroying and creating more madness all over the earth. So they got to be wiped. Thanks be to the Lord, he exists. Because if he did not exist, mankind would wipe out mankind with its madness. You know what I'm saying?
Okay.
Kind. So, sir, what they putting in the news, and they showing us those the unidentified objects that's flying. Are you saying that that's United States? Because we know it's not aliens, but are these sightings that we're seeing, are these angels, or can we attribute it to more so the United States just testing
that's mostly what people are seeing that they're believing are aliens is a ton of military testing. Not just U.S. military, but military. Remember, the U.S. has many allies that have that go on U.S. bases to learn the technology and to test their technology. So you have a ton of countries' technology floating around in America. And you got foreigners that's against America that have high technology, and they like to test their technology too. So they might fly their technology into the United States and have everybody go on alert and see if their technology can escape the defenses of the U.S. So they got that too. So, and all of them have it. Just think, China got flying saucers, Russia got flying saucers, all of them got them, the top one. So you got every shape and size and it's all their stuff. You know what I mean? They built it. You know what I mean? And they had a great cover story, like it being aliens just kept everybody asleep for 75 years. That alien story, brother, became so big, nobody even looked at the fact that it could be their technology. Everybody just was lost in the sauce with, what are we seeing? What is this? It needs to be investigated. So-and-so said this, and this person said that. And this person had a discussion and said that they touched a piece of the metal and this and that. That shit kept everybody asleep for 50, 75 years. Meanwhile, they was on their secret bases building up all the weapons they could build. And they ain't never have to worry about the public saying, what the hell y'all building out there? Or some foreign country saying the same thing. You know what I mean? They just kept everybody with a lot. You know what I'm saying? From way.
Colonel Khan, the water.
Yeah,
man. So like Officer Top of Shop, you got any more questions?
Man, the water. Yeah, the water general shit. Listen, I appreciate sir for answering these questions, man, and it gave us a lot of clarity. You know what I'm saying, for brothers who's in the truth and outside of the truth, who's wanting to know what's going on in these times. You know what I'm saying. So the water for that, sir.
Hey, Most High in Christ.
The water, sir. The water, sir. Would you like to answer some of these questions in the chat?
Sure, let's shoot them.
All right, so the first question I got here. One second.
Take your time.
It's a lot of love in the comments today. I love it. The water to y'all.
Yes, sir.
All right, hold on.
While you're doing that, I was gonna say, coming up on this time right now, coming up on with the World War III, and just seeing all these biblical prophecies come to pass. Sometimes I just can't believe that I'm here. I remember as a child hearing about this and thinking like what I will see. And to have this happen like this, it's like every day I'm seeing it unfold in the news. And I just continuously think to myself like, oh man, it's right here. It's here, not to make it spooky or nothing like, tomorrow, but it could be, we don't know, you know what I mean? But to be able to see how it played out and to see how you broke down in Revelations, how he's seeing these things and he's trying to express it the best way he can based on the knowledge of what he knows in his time. Right. So obviously he wouldn't know nothing about an engine. He wouldn't know nothing about an airplane. So of course it looked like a dragon with fire coming out, it looked like that, so right. Now with that clarity, oh man, it's crazy.
He don't even know what a light bulb looked like. That's why he said when he described Christ's ship, he said a fire enfolding itself. Because to him, it's a fire because it's lit up. But it ain't shooting flames out like it's supposed to. It's the flames is going back inside. Because the light bulb ain't
wow.
That's heavy. You know what I'm saying? So in his mind, it's a fire enfolding itself. But it's just a light bulb. You know what I'm saying?
Wow.
But he's trying to describe what he's seeing. You know what I mean? So, but he can't understand it like you and I can, because that prophecy is for us. It's for this time. You know what I'm saying? It was John was reserving it for us. You know what I mean? So to him, it was, horrifying. Daniel as well. These prophecies were horrifying when they saw them. Ezra passed the hell out when he saw this. You know what I mean? Ezekiel said he kept it in his bosom and wouldn't speak of it because they were so, out of this world to them. Just like if a ship can't land it in front of you, if one of them triangle ships came down silently in front of you and two cats just came out the bottom, you'd be like, holy, you'd be reaching for the gat because you'd be like, yo, I don't know what to make of these aliens. You know what I'm saying? So, but it really is, you know, it's the United States Air Force. You know what I'm saying? Just 75 years in advance from you.
Okay.
You know what I'm saying?
Listen, that's mind blowing. Like, even, you know, like to hear that, you know what I'm saying? Me and Lappy had the same reaction, like, dude, that's crazy to see. Like, you know what I mean, to hear about, like, and it brings a thought, like, imagine, you know, because we're desensitized to this. You know, this is, you know, for the most part, you know, having a touchscreen phone, having a flat screen TV is normal to us because this is the times we living in. But imagine, you know, even 200 years ago, somebody that's were to, you know, come back and exist in this time would be mind blowing for them.
Yeah. Yo, you want to hear something that's crazy? You all of you have heard of Star Trek before, right? Okay. Now when Star Trek came out in the 60s, right? Now in Star Trek, when you ever go watch first of all, if you watch a Star Trek show now, it's probably boring as hell to you. Okay? Because to you it's just an old movie. But when Star Trek came out in the 60s, if you notice in Star Trek, they had sliding doors that opened up when you approached the door. Now that's normal for us.
Yeah, kind of.
You walk into Walmart, the door slide open. You don't even think about it. But in the 60s, that was like a high technology advanced TV show.
Right.
It was like some advanced TV show with stuff that you never seen before. Meanwhile, it was a sliding door. The communicator. Remember, he used to flip it out and say Kirk here. To people that was watching it in the 60s, it was amazing. It was like he got an amazing stuff. But we had flip phones in the 80s, 20 years later.
Right.
You know what I'm saying? So so it's just technology that shocks us because we haven't seen it yet. And they able to lie to us about it. Like you watch Star Trek in the 60s, all the computers with the lights, there wasn't even computers in the 60s. And they was talking about computers. At least we didn't see computers. Gene Roddenberry must have saw some, but we didn't see them. But they had computers all in the Star Trek Enterprise. And it wasn't, computers ain't come out to the 70s.
Wow.
70s, 73. Commodore 64 came out. Maybe a little bit earlier than that, but it certainly wasn't out when Star Trek was out. They had computers that was talking back to them, remember? In Star Trek, they would talk to the computer would talk back to them. And that was to the people back then, that was like, oh my God, it was out of this world stuff. So you know what I'm saying? So it's the same now. It's just technology that they have, you know what I'm saying?
Kind of real life thing that I saw was like even in Back to the Future. And Back to the Future, they were showing us now in 2000, and they were showing him talking to his boss on the screen.
Yeah.
And I remember as a child thinking like, oh my God, it would be crazy to be able to talk on the phone and see the person you're talking to. And look where we at today, man. 20 years later, 30 years later.
You know what I mean? Yeah. That was crazy back then. You know what I mean? To see that. You know what I mean? That was only reserved for, you know, futuristic films. And you know what another one is that's like that, that's very real heavy? Is that one what's the brother, the actor that played Blade? What's his name?
Wesley Snipes.
Wesley Snipes. Like, you remember that movie he made where he had the blonde hair? He was like a criminal.
Yeah,
in a futuristic
Demolition
society.
Man.
Huh?
Demolition Man.
Yes. That Demolition Man, brother, is just like we going through right now. That movie that he made back then is just like it is right now today.
I gotta peep that.
They was frozen in time and woke up in the future.
Yes. And had mental conditioning and all that in the prison. And then and so the society that he was in was all futuristic. And that society is the society we got now. And that movie came out, I think, in the 80s or 90s, something like that. So yeah, so it's the same, you know what I mean? So John was trying to describe it. So was all the prophets trying to describe what they were seeing. You know what I mean? And now we living in it, and we can now decipher what it is that they were saying, because the Lord is going to get, gives it to the prophets, and that's how we able to unfold it to the rest of the world. And it's a beautiful thing to know, man, because I mean, I'm seeing it like I'm watching what's happening on the TV, and it is exactly what I'm reading in the scripture. It's like almost verbatim. And, you know what I mean? Maybe not to the naked eye, but we're going to get into it more. Like I said, we're going to get up in that class and talk about this bottomless pit and these other things that have happened that are now coming to pass.
Okay. All right, so if I may, we got a question from Kimmy. She says, I believe it's a she, Salakia. Salakia, sir, if you don't mind, could you speak on how is the Most High going to protect us from the effects of thermonuclear war?
Oh, that's a good question. In the scriptures, when Paul said we shall be caught up with the Lord in the air, he's talking about us being taken up in Christ's ships. Christ is coming back with real ships, and those ships will not be U.S. technology. Those ships will be on another level, and we'll be taken up in them ships into what the scriptures describe as chambers. And as we're in these chambers, we will watch the rest of the nuclear war taking place on the earth. We'll be up in the lower atmosphere inside the firmament, but we'll be far away from the effects of those nuclear blasts. But we'll be looking down in the earth and frightened to death, according to that scripture. But we'll be looking down at the blast as they taking place on the earth. And then they're going to fire on those ships that we're sitting in. And those angels and those ships are going to destroy this earth and all its authority and power, and destroy every empire on it and bring it to its knees. That's how he's going to protect us. That's why it says we will be caught up in the air with him. You know what I'm saying?
Right. Yeah, that's heavy.
Super heavy. That's an event that, you got to have faith to believe in, which is not hard to have the faith if you study the prophecies, because the prophecies are unfolded right in front of us. So if all these are happening in sequence, just like the Lord said it would, what would make us think that wouldn't happen? And not only that,
right?
Anybody that's ever read the Bible, the question they should ask themselves is, do you believe that the Lord came for the children of Israel out of Egypt? If you don't believe it, then I understand you don't believe we're going to be delivered out of here. But that story of Moses and the children of Israel is known all over the earth in every language on the earth. So if you believe in God at all and read the Bible, you know about that story. The question is, do you believe that story happened? Because if you believe that God came for them slaves then you best believe God is coming for them slaves again.
That's right.
To get them out of Egypt. Only this time, just like the Lord said, he said the first world he destroyed with water, but the second world he shall destroy with fire. Like, ain't that ironic? Global thermonuclear war. So that's a good question the sister asks.
Yes.
So these things are going to happen. The naysayers will be naysayers until that day. Ain't a lot of naysayers as this war is unfolding either.
Right. Yep.
Naysayers are starting to say, hold up a minute.
To
sit back and relook at this.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying?
If I could, sir, I got a homeboy who was there with me around that time when I was working at that print shop, and
okay.
We got the podcast set up with the Proud Boys.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that was a hell of a time. That's right.
Come, Most High Christ. Well, I got a buddy. He was there. It's a brother, and he was there during that time, and we used to talk all the time, like and we would bring up. I would bring up World War III, and I'm like, it's coming. You know what I'm saying? He's like, man, don't say that. I hope not. And he's like, nah, you don't know what you're talking about. That ain't gonna happen. God wouldn't let that happen. And I'm like, bro, God is the one that's making it happen.
Right.
And he's just like denying. He's like, nah, well, if it's true, man, I hope it ain't. I hope it don't happen. And I'm like, well, in time you'll see. Now, you know, I hit him up like a couple days ago. I'm like, you see what's going on in the news, right? Everybody's calling it World War III, man. Like, you know, this ain't the time to be talking about, I hope it don't happen. Now's the time to figure out what to do, because it's going to happen.
Right. Now's the time to fear the Lord. That's why he said, see that you be not troubled. Like, we should fear the Lord and not what's going to happen in this war. For anybody out there that's afraid or has some fear, don't you worry about you. Like any good child, when you going across the street and the cars is going back and forth and there's noise and horns beeping, what you do? You grab hold of your mother's hand. You grab hold of your father's hand. And when he say, let's walk across the street, you walk with him. And you stay close by because you hear the danger around you. And that's what you do. You do the same thing now, like that little child. You go to the Lord, pray to the Most High, ask the Lord what you should do. Come into the ISUPK. Follow these laws, statutes, and commandments. Do the right thing. Become a new person. Become a righteous person, a pious person, a good-hearted person. Give up that evil way you had. And watch the Most High deliver you in that time like any good parent that love their child. And he'll get you up out of here. You ain't got nothing. Listen, I got zero worries about this war. None at all. I'm unconcerned with what's going on with Palestinians and Israelis, other than the prophecy. Other than that, I don't have no skin in the game. I don't care whether they go to war or don't go to war. I don't care who wins. I don't care about none of that. I'm only in it because the prophecy is so juicy to me. It's so juicy how accurate these prophecies from the Lord are and how much hope it could give to our brothers and sisters that really want to know the Lord. Like I brought out before in one of the shows, I said it's rare that the Lord do something so extraordinary to show you that he's at hand working. It's rare. But what you see going on over there in that Middle East is the Lord giving you a rare look at him at work. It wasn't the same as what it was with Iraq and all that.
Right.
But now you in the prophecy of what's about to happen. That is a beautiful thing to be a part of. Okay. The Lord to show you that is extra kind of the Most High.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I'm saying? He don't have to show you that, but he's showing it to you, and it is, you know, it should make you feel amazing.
Yes,
okay.
Okay.
All right. So now we have another question, if I may.
Please.
This is from Rocky Tahata, I think his name is. He said,
okay.
General, I have Edomites that married into my family. How do I deal with that?
Okay, Edomites, females or males? Number one, if it's a female, then you marry according to the scriptures, you're not to divorce that Edomite. But you do have a change in dynamics in your household. If you a man and a female was married into your family, then those children are Israelites based on that brother's bloodline. So it's not that big a deal. You know what I mean? You just gotta lay down the law that your wife gotta understand that you learning the truth about the culture of you and your people. And you want your sons and daughters to learn the same. Now, you could run into the problem of her divorcing you because she ain't gonna like you saying the white man's the devil while she's sitting in the living room. So you could run into a jam up right there. But if she willing to stick with you and raise the kids and do all the right things, then you go on like life is normal. Now, if you a female, it's not as easy. If you have children, if you don't have any children, that's the best case scenario. But if a female married into your family, a female allowed a Edomite male to marry into your children, then that male and those children are Edomites. And that sister's going to have to learn the truth, and she's going to have to, make it clear to that man and those children that this is her belief system, and she's got to still serve the Lord with full, love towards the Most High. Now, and still love her children and take care of her children and all that, and still be married to her husband. But it is a rough situation because now you find out that really you're married to a heathen because you're a product of slavery. And so now you got to fight to get your culture back and to deal with your culture as opposed to theirs. Because, of course, they'll be trying to pull you into Christianity. They'll be trying to tell you that, Jesus wasn't that serious, that it wasn't that relative. Let me put y'all on hold for a second, all right?
Come.
Yeah. It's going down, man. You know what I mean? Whoever you with, you better make a decision.
Yeah,
what side you on?
Choose this day.
Mm-hmm.
Hey, and make your election sure.
Yeah, make it real sure.
Absolutely. Okay, let me bring Commander Yahanna back in.
The water. So you could run into a problem. You know what I'm saying? You could run. Hold on a second.
Yeah. What is this?
You want to switch that out?
Yeah.
Bear with me one quick second, Akin. Can y'all hear me?
Can
you? Yes, sir. We can hear you.
Bear with me one second. Put my mic on mute for just a second, y'all.
Yeah, man. Hey,
going down.
Listen. We got the general in here.
Yes, sir.
War as usual.
Yeah.
This is epic, man. I mean, just for us to be, a few episodes in, and we already got the general in, man. This is
that is.
It's going down. It's going
Big
down.
up,
It's one of them.
He's bringing on some mind-blowing information, bro. What he said,
listen,
the light
the light.
I
I'm gonna be honest. I always be like, I know what that means, but I don't know what that means. I'm gonna wait. I'm gonna always bring that up. But I didn't want what light enfolding in itself. For some reason, I was thinking about a mushroom cloud, though. You know what I mean? Like that's what I was thinking about. But I mean, I don't know. I'm glad he put me up on that one though, because.
Yeah, that's fire though.
Yeah,
I'm about to go cut everybody with the light bulb scripture now.
Listen, it's definitely some groundbreaking information, man. So it's listen, man. The water to the Most High in Christ. You know what I'm saying, for allowing us to have this type of platform. You know what I'm saying, have the tutelage of a man so worthy as Commander General Yahanna.
Super kind of you, the water. Most High in Christ, give the Lord a hand for his mercy on this nation, man. You know what I'm saying? And on Israel, man. And for you young warriors, man, holding it down, man. You don't know you a blessing to our ears. You know what I'm saying? Being young and zealous, there's a whole lot of evil stuff y'all could be into right now. The world is certainly trying to challenge you and draw you into it. But the fact that you taking your time out to do this in the middle of the week at this time of night means that you all the way up in the fight trying to wake our people up and gain something greater than this BS world that they're trying to hand to us. A world of drugs and whores and crime and, and living a degenerate life. Instead, you inspiring to higher and greater things. And because of it, man, tons and tons of brothers and sisters is going to wake up and come into the truth. And it's going to be amazing to see, you know what I mean?
Come.
Right,
sir. Right.
Just real quick, I got one more question from Vicar Emerson World. It says, peace fam, I heard the comforter is here. ? I'm guessing he's trying to get validation on if the comforter is here or not.
Okay. I got you. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but so you can understand, the comforter, according to the scriptures, okay, is the spirit of the Lord, the zeal that you put on yourself to fight this fight. That's what you're going to be comforted with. You're going to be comforted with the spirit of the Lord that's going to add, because you zealously running this work, he's going to add the scriptures to you, add the understanding to you, add brothers and sisters of like mind in the truth to you. He's going to strengthen you and comfort you in this righteous body that Christ built. That's the comforter that the Christ is talking about. I'm not sure what comforter you're talking about outside of that. If you think the comforter is a person, then you are incorrect, because that was something that was being taught at one point in different fake Israelite groups, that the comforter was a person. And the scriptures clearly tell you that it is not a person.
Damn right. Damn lit. And if I may too, General, like I challenge any pastor out there or any group out there who can break down the book of Revelation as the men in the ISUPK does, and you know what I'm saying, to come forth. You know what I mean? Other than that, I don't hear nobody else that's bringing out these prophecies the way you do, sir. You know what I'm saying? So
Most High Christ. And let me tell you something, if I could, if you ever do hear somebody doing it, they got it from One West.
Damn right.
Damn right. Nobody has ever broken these scriptures down like One West. You got a lot of people that tried to steal what they could from us and use it, but nobody has broken this scripture down. And forget about the heathens. The heathens don't touch it because they know as soon as they go into it, they find out immediately that it's talking about them.
Right.
So they don't never want to break it down. I remember one time they was trying to say that the two when the Lord said, "I shall send my two prophets."
Moses and Elijah, sir?
No, not Moses and Elijah. He says it towards Revelation. But my point being is they try to say it was America and Great Britain. Like they try to fit themselves in the prophecies, but they read it and study it and they know it's not talking about them, which is what happens every time. You know what I mean? So I just want to bring that point out.
Christ. Last question, if I could. Now this, I believe this is a troll, you know what I'm saying? It's like, so you can answer this if you want to, but they said, why y'all don't go over and fight with your people for your land?
Say that one more time.
AB the creator says, why y'all don't go over and fight with your people for your land?
Okay, because we know how to fight with our people for our land. And how you fight for your people, if you in the truth, how you fight for your people for your land is by obeying your commanding officer. Our commanding officer is Yahushua, known to the world as Jesus Christ. And we follow his command. You understand? And that's why we are fighting for our land right now. And we putting up a hell of a fight. But in your carnal mind, you think we should get a gun and go fly over there and go fight the Israelis and the Palestinians. But we follow a commander that gives orders. And he tells us how to fight. And we follow his orders to the letter. And in the end, if you're an Edomite, we'll have you with a dog chain on. and you'll love us for it.
Damn right.
We might even be so kind as to name you Fido. So we know we fight. We experts at fight for our land, but we do it under our right command, and we win every day.
Damn right.
Damn right.
Om Yashala.
Om Yashala. If I may too, General, can you put the disclaimer out there as well that for Black people, we are not Jewish, we're not pro the Jewish state, neither are we free Palestine and their plight and their oppression. Like, what is the stance of where we stand in this conflict?
Yeah, the ISUPK stands with the 12 lost tribes of the children of Israel. The Israelis are not one of the 12 lost tribes, and neither are the Palestinians. So we don't stand with anybody that's not one of the 12 lost tribes of the children of Israel. So we don't have no skin in the game when it comes to either one of those sides. And as far as being on the land, like we brought out in many classes, we didn't get on the land because Christ said not to. Christ said to flee up out of Jerusalem until this war took place. None of us were supposed to go back. That was the biblical prophecy. He told Peter in them, when you see the abomination of desolation spoken of by Daniel, flee ye into the mountain and see that your flight be not in the winter. This is what Christ told us. So we already knew not to come back to that land. You understand? But some of us ignorantly went back to that land, got on the land, and eventually, for citizenship, decided to capitulate to the slave master over there. And then what did he do? He took all their sons and put them in the Israeli army. Right now, black people who are descendants of Hebrew Israelites that lived in Chicago, who did not listen to the orders that came down from headquarters in New York, decided that they was going to take a bunch of people back over to the land. They went through Africa and lost hundreds of people in them African countries with disease and all manner of madness, burying babies that was dying at birth in some cases, till they finally got into the land of Israel, where they didn't get citizenship for some 30 or 40, maybe, 60s, they went.
Oh, God.
Wow, so some 60 years, 50 years, I'll say. 50 some odd years, they never got any citizenship and survived and struggled on their own. Then finally, the Israelis decided we'll give some of them citizenship. And they gave some of them citizenship and then put them in the Israeli military. The rest of them, some of them, they put out the country. And some of them, they put out the country, and technically they're no longer Americans because they were born right out there in the desert with no birth certificate, no social security card. So they're like nobody. So the Israelis could have shipped them God knows where they are right now. Another brother with his simple self, who was one of my students and rebelled, went and took a bunch of brothers and sisters and told them to go back to Egypt with him. Went and set himself up in the Sinai desert. Got out there in the desert, and before you know it, all they did was descend into having orgies, passing them sisters around, descend into a horrible state. When the Egyptians got wind of it, they started throwing them out the country. They were shipping people to anywhere they wanted to ship them to. They put them on planes and sent them anywhere. Some they sent back to the U.S. and all that. People's families was looking for them and all that. It was a horrible, horrible thing to do just because you wanted to be hard-headed and not follow orders. You know what I mean? And so some of them made it back over here. And it was a mess. And that brother also let the heathens join on to the brothers and sisters. And once again, it's all been a wrong mistake from not following orders. So, oh yeah, we fights for the land. Oh, we get greasy for the land.
Yes, sir.
We don't fight the way you think we should fight. We fight the way Christ told us to fight.
That's right.
That's how we get down. You know what I'm saying? To answer that question.
All right. Well, that concludes all the questions we had, sir. You know, I got like a ton more questions, but I definitely don't want to hold you over, sir. So the water for having you once again. You understand? It was a pleasure, talking with you, sir. It was a pleasure, getting the intricacies of this war and everything that's going on in these times, man. Y'all listening right now on the War as Usual webcast, man, you heard it here. You understand? It's time to get our act together. It's time to get right. You understand? Click like, click subscribe. You understand? Follow us for more, man. The Water Commander General Yahanna of the Israelite School of Universal Practical Knowledge, sir. Any closing remarks you'd like to say?
Hey, man, I just want to say to Water for having me on, man. I really appreciate it, man. Appreciate the work that y'all doing, man. Y'all keep swinging on it real hard like you're doing. You know what I'm saying? Join me in Houston. I want to let everybody know I'm going to be in Houston Thanksgiving weekend. I know it's a tough weekend, but Thanksgiving weekend, that Saturday, man, I'm doing brunch. I'm doing a lecture discussing are video games and adult films stealing your family and stealing your husband and destroying your family. We should talk about it, man. It's gonna be brunch, lunches, breakfast, and lunch is on me. We're gonna get together and get it on in Houston, Texas, at the Houston, Texas school. It's gonna be a hell of a lecture. I got some heavy stuff to bring out, some stuff that the government has been doing towards us and trying to take your man out of the game before the Third World War or starts using the technology on these phones and computers. It's gonna be hell of an insight on what they're doing to our people. So join me out there, man. You're gonna have a blast. Houston, Texas, so-called Thanksgiving weekend, the Saturday after Thanksgiving. I'll be out there getting it on. We're gonna also be in California this weekend. We're getting ready to jump planes Thursday and going out to California, man, and get to Captain Godal Hall, man, and all his rangers out there. We're gonna kick it up live. General Muhammad will be doing his class out there. General Mayak will be doing his show. Actually, the prophets. It's gonna be a hell of a weekend. You know what I mean? So again, to water y'all, man, in Florida, we're gonna make our way back down there to y'all as well. You know what I'm saying?
Damn right.
Y'all brothers, y'all keep getting it on, man. I dissolve, man. I need some sweat hoods, man. And come see me.
I got you.
I'm saying?
I got you.
Water again, Hakim. I appreciate y'all.
Also, too, sir, would you like to mention the Passover as well?
Oh, absolutely. Absolutely.
Okay.
Coming up, the 55th annual. Woo, we got 55 years in the game. The 55th annual Passover will be in Durham, North Carolina. Okay, the Passover weekend, I mean, the itinerary is ridiculous. It's $200 per adult. Kids ride free all day, every day. But for $200, you're getting everything. You're getting the Passover. You're getting the Feast of Unleavened Bread. You're getting General Muhammad's class. You're getting the Black Party. You're getting free babysitting during the Black Party. You're getting the Children's Party. You're getting the free buses and transportation to all the events. And they got more events I ain't even mentioned yet that they putting on the table. So it's going to be a crazy weekend. You're getting all access pass for $200. You get to go to everything, eat all the food and drink we're going to have in every one of them. Absolutely free. Y'all come on through and join us, man. Passover, 55th.
Right.
20th, you got to check the dates on that. It's in April. It's coming up. Good.
Yeah,
good.
I got the flyer. I got the flyer right here. Let me just pull it up real quick so I can I had it queued up. Where we at? I should have had this thing queued up already, but here we go.
It's all good.
All right, here we go right here.
Yeah.
If I could,
Passover, ISUPK, man, it's going down, so I can't wait.
Sir.
Can't wait to see all the brothers and sisters, you know what I'm saying?
Yeah, worldwide, baby.
That's right.
Yes,
coming in from all over the world.
Damn right. Fifth, keep it 55th.
Yeah.
Like stop, Shaw. You want to say something?
Nah, it's too wild. It's too wild.
Okay, come on. So, I guess we'll salute the general out.
All right. Aloha Panya.
What?
Barak. Yahweh Shem
Yahweh Shem Yahweh Shabrak Thumb to Water Akia, man. See y'all soon, all right?
Damn right. Water, sir.
Water. Shalom. All right, man. Shoot.
Hey.
And that's a take. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, listen, man. We're gonna definitely keep these. We're gonna definitely keep these guests coming in, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, I want to definitely have more guests come on to the show. You know what I'm saying? Some more heavy hitters. I might try to get Captain Tazaria, the world famous.
I was just about to say that. That's crazy.
You know, we one body, man. You know what I'm saying?
One body.
Hey. Same thoughts. So, you know, like I'm definitely, you know, trying to get. I'm gonna that out there. You know, no profit to the win real quick. You know what I'm saying? So
yeah.
You know what I mean? Hey,
Man.
the water, everybody in the
That was
chat, in the barracks. You know what I'm saying? Hold it down. Anybody else? Lapia or I was shocked. Y'all wanted to mention anything?
Shit, subscribe. Shit.
Subscribe.
Can't say that enough.
War as usual. You know what I mean? Make sure y'all
War
like,
as
subscribe. Hit the notification bell. What's the rhyme? Hit the notification if you want to know. What you say? Go ahead. Let them know.
All right. So make sure that you like, because you know we tight. And go ahead and subscribe, because you know we live. He said nah. And listen, go hit that bell to be notified.
Hey,
that's it right there.
I don't know why that's so funny to me, though. That's so funny to me.
No sweat. Listen, man, you know we here
like,
with it.
I feel like that's in like a blaxploitation film somewhere.
Hey, say, brother.
Say, brother,
man.
get notified so you could be justified, and then you can also be certified.
Yeah, but you gotta know the times to be notarized. Nah, let's go, man. Let's get up out of here. You know,
bars.
Hey, that was still bars. I ain't even try.
Bars.
Damn, I'm still rhyming. All right, let's go.
Man,
let's get
you can't stop.
Can't stop, man. Big up Commander Yahanna for sure, man.
Yeah.
Listen.
Fire show, man. Fire show.
Yeah, man.